I do it, you do it, we all do it. Flash your lights to other cars about an officer that's coming up ahead on the road. So imagine then being pulled over and ticketed for an offense that doesn't even exist.
Now, this has happened to thousands of people right here in the Bay Area, and tonight's What That's Costing You. 10 News investigator Mike Deason explains taxpayers could end up paying millions for police agencies illegally ticketing drivers.
When a Florida Highway Patrol trooper pulls someone over, it's usually because they were speeding. But Eric Campbell was pulled over and ticketed even though he was driving the speed limit.
I was coming up the Veterans Expressway, and I noticed two patrol officers sitting on the side of the road in the median.
Campbell says he did what he always does, flashed his lights on and off to warn drivers coming in the other direction that there was a speed trap ahead.
To signal them to, mind their speed and watch out. And it wasn't but 60 seconds later, they were on my tail, had me pulled over.
The FHP trooper wrote Campbell a ticket for improper flashing of high beams after he asked Campbell what he was doing.
Or were you warning others that we were sitting there, which is illegal. Of course, I didn't know any better, didn't know what was legal and what wasn't legal.
But Campbell says he later learned it's not illegal, and he filed a class action lawsuit which says Florida statute doesn't prohibit the flashing of headlights as a means of communications, nor does it in any way reference flashing headlights or the use of high beams. However, the FHP trooper who wrote the ticket didn't know or didn't care.
The police officer saw the blinking and he was upset. You could tell in his voice. He was professional, he wasn't rude, but you could tell he was irritated.
However, the lawsuit says FHP is well aware they are wrongfully applying the state law, and they're doing it as a means of generating revenue. The suit says they should know because there's a court order which was issued in 2005 saying the state law doesn't prohibit the flashing of vehicle headlights.
So there it was in black and white. The court had said the police cannot use this statute, the same one I was cited with, for giving tickets for somebody that's turning their headlights on and off or flashing the high beams.
But Campbell isn't the only one that was cited. Since 2005, FHP records show more than 10,000 drivers have been ticketed under the same statute. In addition to seeking a refund of $100 for the ticket, the lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $15,000 per plaintiff. What's that costing you? $156 million in damages if the suit is successful, plus at least another $1 million in ticket refunds, because apparently the troopers don't like the public warning people about speed traps.
It was a personal affront. He did not like the fact that somebody was ratting him out.
The Florida Highway Patrol didn't want to comment because of the pending litigation. Meantime, Campbell says FHP had no right to ticket him under the current law, and he adds the agency is not being honest when it says it doesn't write tickets to increase revenue or to punish people, but rather to get motorists to slow down on the highway. Campbell says if that was the case, it should be delighted with him because drivers did slow down before FHP troopers could give them a ticket.
I don't like the fact that government is doing this, especially now when most people simply can't afford it. They have a hard time paying for gas, let alone, trying to defend something against a completely made up charge that doesn't exist.
And while the state will have to come up with the money for damages if the suit is successful, guess where that money's coming from? Your taxes. Mike Deason, 10 News.
Now, the courts keep throwing out the ticket, saying there is nothing in the state law that makes it illegal.
Wow. Thanks, Mike.